Okay, today I'm going to do a setup and show you how to use the Pasco 850 Universal Interface box and how to do a software setup for the box. What I have here is a cart on an inclined plane. I have the inclined plane set at 10 degrees and I have a motion sensor 2 on the track. I'll be rolling a cart down the track and we'll be capturing some data on this. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take the motion sensor 2 and you want to plug the two plugs into the digital input. The digital input, I plug the yellow plug into port 1 and I will be plugging the black one into port 2. Port 3 and 4 allows you to have a second motion sensor. We will be using this for collision experiments and other experiments that will require two motion sensors. Okay, now that you've opened up, when you first came in, you logged in and with your A number and your password, got into the Pasco program and started the Pasco program up, which I already have here loaded up. Now physically, the sensor, motion sensor 2 is plugged into the box. We needed to go over here and do a software setup for the hardware. And I will, over here, you see a hardware setup. I will click on this and I will load, push down, get near port number 1, okay? And I will click on the mouse and right click, it's a left click on the mouse, and scroll down and pick the motion sensor 2. You're actually all done for the software part of the hardware setup. Now you can close off in this box and it'll disappear. This program also has some templates, quick start templates, that allow you to gather your data in a table and a graph. You can always go over here and drag in another graph, another table, a clock, some digits. There's a lot of nice stuff which we'll be covering at some other point in time. The data table, the quick template data table I'm going to be using is right here. It's called a data table. It's a table and graph. I click on that, and now it automatically comes up with 2 columns. We'll be adding more columns to this setup here, but I want to tell the computer what information I would like to record. It's always there. You can do this after you run your experiment or before. Right here, I'm going to select the measurements, and in this experiment, I would like to have in my table, I would like to have a position. I would also like to record the velocity, and I also would like to record the acceleration and possibly time in this table. Over on the very far left-hand top is an insert column to the right, and you click on that and you're going to see another column pop up, okay, just to the right of that, like I said, and I'm going to select the measurements and I'm going to go acceleration. For this experiment, I'm going to add a 4th column, and the column is going to be for time. And I click on that again, come over here, select measurements, and put the time in. And now I'm pretty much done with the table. Over in the graph section, I need to select the measurements that I would like. So selecting measurements, I'm going to click on that. We have it from the data table. We have position. I'm going to pick position. And you also notice that this will come up with position versus time automatically. Okay? We can move this around, put the hand on here, and you can move it around. We have no 0 time. Now I'm actually ready to run the experiment, and you'll hear me move the cart back to the beginning of the motion sensor, pretty close. I'm not going to move it exactly the position. I may try it exactly, and then we're going to release the cart. Since I'm here by myself, I'm going to release the cart and let it roll down the track, and the cart will actually, you'll hear it bounce into a foam pad I have there. If you're working with a partner, please catch the cart. They don't bounce very well, and they are rather pricey. Okay. so I'm rolling back the cart, and right here I want to do a couple things. I also want to adjust the amount of data that I record, and I'm going to drop that down for this experiment to 10 hertz. It does not matter. It records very nice at 20 hertz or even higher, but I don't want to have too much data for everybody to look at. Okay, so right here I'm going to record and I'm going to release. And stop. I stopped it before it actually bumped into my foam pad, and I am going to move it a little bit, my time, just so it looks a little prettier. In this experiment, which I didn't have in the last run I did, is I got probably a little too much information here. And maybe not. Let's take a look at it. I have this point right here. I'm not very happy with that point right here, so I'm going to go to this highlighting section and highlight over there, and then you'll see where that highlights on the yellow, it kind of turns yellowish right there. And you can adjust this any way you want. Move it, highlight it, and capture what you need. And then a right click, you can exclude that data, okay? Exclude highlighted data. So it kind of makes it a little prettier. I would also like to show you a part of this. It's actually called apply. It's a curve, fit to curve thing, and it kind of, you drop it down, it's right here, and I'm going to drop that down, and that is a quadratic equation. You can see how, after I click off on this, you can actually see how nice that looks. That is very nice. Okay? Now we have a graph of position versus time we can actually look at, and I'm also going to take a look from my velocity table. I also may want another graph in this experiment. And I'm going to click on this. This is add new plot area to the graph display. And it's arrow up and one over, and that's the one you're going to need right there. And it drops a second graph in there. And I'm going to tell it what measurements I want. And I want the velocity on that. And velocity versus time, it kind of knows. I also probably wouldn't mind eliminating some data off that. This is a little weird, so I'm going to go back up to the pen, highlight, and just drop it over there, and then do a right click on the mouse, and we're going to delete, exclude highlighted data. Okay, I'm glad it kind of didn't work out perfectly. Now we do a fit to curve on that, just to see what it looks like, and let's find out. That's a linear fit to curve, and I'm going to drop that in and go across. Okay, that does look nice. I will do one more graph, and that will correspond to the acceleration versus time, and then I'm almost ready to do a printout. We're going to drop another graph in right there on the same chart, and I'm going to have to highlight it. Okay, select the measurement and its acceleration, and you're going to find out. Let's take out some stuff, click on the graph, go up there get the yellow pen. We're going to exclude a little data, exclude data. Let's see if we can get this. My mouse is a little sticky. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this up here, and let's see how it looks. It should be a nice straight line. It's never going to be a perfect straight line across. We were on a 10% incline, and we're always going to have a little bit of friction. But I'm going to go up here and do a fit to curve up there, and you'll see it's pretty straight. It's a linear fit to curve, and it's not bad. I might stretch this up a little bit, move it across over, and that looks fantastic. I want to just get the information out of the way, and that would pretty much be it. There's a couple other little cool things that I think you should know, and I may cover this on the next video. As a matter of fact, I'll stop here. You can take in the information that you need and get your setup going, and if you have any questions, you should just ask.